Good morning. Welcome to Brooklyn's Youth and Family Sunday Service. We're so glad to have you. Now, who knows what today is? Yes, I know it's October 25th, but did you know that it is National Art Day? We celebrate it on the 25th because it's the same day of Pablo Picasso's birthday. God has given us such amazing lives, and what a great way to celebrate the beauty of the life that God has given us with art. Art is also a way that we can record the victories in our lives as well as the challenging times. And later on today, we are going to have an art project right after the Bible story. But did you know that today is also World Pasta Day? Apparently, in 1995, a group of pasta manufacturers got together and had a world conference. Who knew? And so every October, we celebrate pasta, and it falls on today. So if you're on a low-carb diet, you're going to have to get over it. Break out the spaghetti, break out the linguine, break out the penne, break out the macaroni, break out the lasagna. These are some great ways to celebrate art and food. But who knows what else today is? Today is the day that God has given us. So no matter what else we celebrate, let's celebrate Jesus. We hope you enjoy today's service. Take care.
I'm gonna view that holy city. Oh, I'm gonna view that holy city one of these days. I'm gonna view that holy city. I'm gonna view that holy city one of these days. I'm gonna meet my loving Jesus. Oh, I'm gonna meet my loving Jesus one of these days. I'm gonna meet my loving Jesus. I'm gonna view that holy city. Meet my loving Jesus one of these days. I'm gonna sit at the welcome table. Oh, I'm gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. Take a seat. I'm gonna sit at the welcome table. I'm gonna view that holy city. Meet my loving Jesus. Sit at the welcome table one of these days. I'm gonna feast on milk and honey. Oh, I'm gonna feast on milk and honey one of these days. I'm gonna feast on milk and honey. I'm gonna view that holy city. Meet my loving Jesus. Sit at the welcome table. Feast on milk and honey one of these days. I'm gonna high five holy Moses. Oh, I'm gonna high five holy Moses one of these days. I'm gonna high five holy Moses. I'm gonna view that holy city. What? Meet my loving Jesus. What? Sit at the welcome table. What? Feast on milk and honey. High five holy Moses one of these days. I'm gonna climb up Jacob's ladder. Oh, I'm gonna climb up Jacob's ladder one of these days. I'm gonna climb up Jacob's ladder. I'm gonna view that holy city.
What?
Meet my loving Jesus.
What?
Sit at the welcome table.
What?
Feast on milk and honey.
What?
High five holy Moses.
What?
Climb up Jacob's ladder one of these days. I'm gonna build my home in heaven. Oh, I'm gonna build my home in heaven one of these days. I'm gonna build my home in heaven. I'm gonna be that holy city. Meet my loving Jesus. Sit at the welcome table. Feast on milk and honey. High five holy Moses. Climb up Jacob's ladder. Build my home in heaven one of these days. I'm gonna sing and never get tired. Oh, I'm gonna sing and never get tired one of these days. I'm gonna sing and never get tired. I'm gonna view that holy city. Meet my loving Jesus. Sit at the welcome table. Feast on milk and honey. High five holy Moses. Climb up Jacob's ladder. Build my home in heaven. Sing and never get tired one of these days. Last one. I'm gonna fly all over heaven. Oh, I'm gonna fly all over heaven one of these days. I'm gonna fly all over heaven. I'm gonna view that holy city. Meet my loving Jesus. Sit at the welcome table. Feast on milk and honey. High five holy Moses. Climb up Jacob's ladder. Build my home in heaven. Sing and never get tired. Fly all over heaven one of these days. Woo!
There's a Sea of Galilee. There's a Sea of Galilee. There's a sea. There's a sea. There's a Sea of Galilee. There's a boat on the Sea of Galilee. There's a boat on the Sea of Galilee. There's a boat. There's a boat. There's a boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are men on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are men on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are men. There are men. There are men on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are hands on the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are hands on the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are hands. There are hands. There are hands on the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are nets. There are nets. There are nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are fish. There are fish. There are fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are many fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are many fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are many fish, many fish, many fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. Faster! There are many fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are many fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are many fish, many fish. Many fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. Faster! There are many fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are many fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. There are many fish, many fish in the nets in the hands of the man on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. Woo!
Good morning. My name is Darren Thomas, reporting on behalf of Kids Kingdom News Network. Today, we're standing in front of the temple in Israel. One of the reasons people go to the temple is to pray. And today, let's interview a couple of people to get further details about why they came to the temple. First, let's start off with a Pharisee. Good morning, sir. I'm a reporter for Kids Kingdom News Network, and we wanted to interview a couple of people to find out exactly why they come to the temple to pray. Yes, you have chosen wisely. I am a very devout follower of God. I have been coming to this temple for many years. I thought we might start off with just your name. Yes, I am Charles Aragonius Priscillius VI. Wow. May I use just your first name? I prefer my whole name. Charles, what exactly brings you to the temple today? Yes. I come here to thank God that I am not like these other sinners, evildoers, adulterers. Do you know they even let tax collectors up in here? There's one in the back, dressed in a robe from like 4 seasons ago. Who does that? So Charles, it sounds like you come to the temple not so much to ask God for forgiveness, but to basically inform God of your own righteousness. Yes. Well, thank you, Charles, for talking to us today. Wait. I'm not done yet. I haven't told you about all my benevolence projects, about how much I give to the poor, about all the fasting that I do. Next up, we're going to talk to a tax collector and find out why he comes to the temple. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Today we're doing a report on exactly why people come to the temple. I come to the temple to pray and to thank God for His mercy. I have not made many good choices in my life, and God has been merciful through all of my bad choices. And I also come here to ask God how I might show mercy to others. Wow, thank you. What an amazing response. We really appreciate you talking with us today. You're welcome. Oh, I didn't even get to get his name. Well, that's it for now. This is Darren Thomas reporting on behalf of Kids Kingdom News Network. Take care. Let's open our Bibles to Luke 18, verses 9 through 14. To some who were confident of their own righteousness and looked down on everyone else, Jesus told this parable. 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week and give 1/10 of all I get. But the tax collector stood at a distance. He would not even look up to heaven, but beat his breast and said, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. I tell you that this man, rather than the other, went home justified before God. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Here we are during Bible story time listening to a story. Interestingly enough, Jesus himself was telling a story in the form of a parable. Parables were stories that were designed to illustrate a basic truth. Here, the parable contained 2 characters, a Pharisee and a tax collector. We have the benefit of knowing the end of the story, but I wonder which category we would have liked to have been in had we not known the end of the story. For the Pharisees had a great reputation. They were disciplined, they invested a lot in their relationship with God, they had tremendous influence and authority. Not like the tax collector, who was despised, considered Jewish traitors, and although their job was to collect taxes, they often collected more than they should, so they were like thieves. What are some obvious differences or similarities between the Pharisee and the tax collector? The Pharisee went to the front of the temple, praised himself, but in the end went home unjustified. The tax collector stood at a distance. He did not speak highly of himself, and in the end, he went home justified. What does it mean to be justified? It means to be right before God. The tax collector ultimately pleased God, while the Pharisee, who thought highly of himself, did not please God. Maybe the Pharisee did have more visible signs of commitment. Maybe he did have more actions under his belt. After all, there are some things in this life that I'm better at than other people, and some people are better at things than I am. So what's wrong with acknowledging that? Well, the problem is that it's not completely accurate. Everything in our lives is founded on God's mercy. The tax collector understood that, but the Pharisee did not. He thought his actions removed him from the pool of people he considered to be evildoers. But because he put his faith in his own actions, he really was an evildoer. Our talents and gifts are opportunities for us to serve others, not opportunities for us to think highly of ourselves. But how can we be righteous before God but not self-righteous? Well, The easy answer is always compare yourself to Jesus and not to other people. What also helps is if we use our talents and gifts to serve others. The religious leaders who spent the most time in the Word should have had the most faith in God instead of themselves. Instead, Jesus always makes heroes of the underdog, the less fortunate, the outsider, the misfit. Jesus also maintained hope for the self-righteous, since the Bible states that this parable was directed toward them. I hope you enjoyed the Bible story. And guess what? Now it's craft time. In today's Bible story, we see how God takes ordinary people and he inspires them to do amazing things. Did you know you can take an ordinary toilet paper roll core and make a gift out of it? It's real easy, and I'll show you how. The steps are easy. Take an ordinary toilet paper core, flatten it down so that it's a rectangle, and then open it back up slightly. Fold down two sides of each end so that they're closed. Decorate it any way you want, and you're all done. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's service, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you.
Jesus' love is bubbling over. Jesus' love is bubbling over. Jesus' love is bubbling over. Hallelujah. Love is bubbling over.